I need to talk about this month of Sundays.
Okay.
I am moved.
Really?
Yeah. How'd you come up with the name?
When you haven't seen someone in a long time, there's a saying that says, I haven't seen you in a month of Sundays. And 2020 was that period for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a play on that, as well as what Sundays were for me. They're sacred. It's a sacred time for me in a lot of the world. And but I wanted to have that every day of my week, have a little bit of Sunday every day of my week. So there was this special thing about Sundays and that sacred time, sacred space that I wanted to sing about, which was kind of what the Love on Me is about, but also this time, this concept of time and being away from people, but being connected to yourself.
The Love on Me, did you feel you were at a point where you weren't loving on yourself?
I think I go through periods of that where I have to remind myself, or I get reminded that I need to kind of focus on myself a little bit. I do a lot of looking out.
For others?
Mm-hmm. Looking out, through these portals called eyes.
Gotcha.
But there are times where I have to remind myself that I need to kind of focus in. I write these songs for the world, but they really they're for me.
Yeah.
Like I have to remind myself with my own songs.
It was the writing was, I'm trying to think of a word. I got the feeling that you were tapping into something that I didn't feel you were tapping into with Pretty.
Yeah.
Getting old is real.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Our relationship to time is shifting.
Yes.
And it's moving faster.
Yeah.
And it's so important for us to try to slow down sometimes to acknowledge what's there. But in most cases, what's there is us.
Right.
Our feelings, our accomplishments, what we did, what we didn't do. And that's what I felt like Love on Me was, just saying, I just need to slow down and just
acknowledge myself.
Acknowledge myself.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for listening and getting it in the way that you have, because you put these words on paper and record them, and sometimes you don't know who's listening.
Yeah. And Deborah had a song on her album about time. And we had a very similar conversation. And we thought, for a long time that we had a lot of time.
Right.
And the reality is, the older you're getting, the faster the time will spend. The faster the time will feel, because it represents a smaller percentage of what we've lived. So it wasn't just the words, it wasn't just the production. Sitting, listening. I start crying. I pick up the phone and I call somebody who both of us know. What I was crying about was the string arrangements.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I called Piranha Head
No way.
and was like, bro, we have a 15-minute moment to where we're both crying. He shared some stuff about what he was doing and what was happening in his life around the time of that album. And I was like, dude.
That's
so
my brother.
He wanted me to let you know.
Gosh.
So
I didn't know that was your friend. Well, we just met. We just met. So.
Beautiful guy. He is one of the absolute sweetest.
Yes.
And I mean this in a very manly way.
Right.
He's one of the sweetest men I've met.
Mm-hmm.
When you
Yeah.
God bless you, brother.
Yeah.
But the string arrangements put it on a whole nother level.
It did. It did.
It was like tapping something.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
Humble.
Yeah.
Humble.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been moved like that by a song in a long time. And we talked about this a little bit before.
Yeah.
You wrote the words.
Yep.
Your son, Daniel.
Yes.
And your daughter, Trinity.
Yep. Yep.
Talk to me about how y'all came up with that.
I had jotted down some notes about my niece and my sister. And I didn't know how to express the pain that I was feeling about them and their relationship. And so I wrote down some notes about it. We walk around feelings, build castles. I got to sing it to remember.
Please do.
We walk around feelings, build castles round the pain and look away. At the surface we will play. The shallow end's a safer place to stay. So it's like everybody's upset walking around the pain and looking away from it, not really dealing with it. And I'm talking generational pain. Playing at the shallow end, never going too deep. If you go too deep, it's like you won't know me there. You don't even know yourself sometimes if you get deep there. So that's where I was going with some of my notes and scribblings and writing. And my daughter, I called in my son and Daniel and Trinity. And I was like, I need to finish writing this song. So let's sit down and come up with something. And so me and Trinity, we were just flowing. Like, she's an amazing writer. And they don't know this about themselves. They don't even know that they're amazing. Even it's like me telling them it's not enough yet. They're going to have to discover it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my son, I was like, I don't have a melody for this. So he went down in the basement. And he came back with the complete melody for the verses. And me and Trinity were like, yes, this is it.
Who did the production? I forgot.
Dave Lindsay.
Okay.
Yes, that's my brother too. Yep.
The words are beautiful.
Thank you.
And the tone, the vibe, and
yes,
the strings. And it compelled me, like I said, to call Piranha Head and be like, dude,
yeah.
you're amazing.
And I didn't want strings on that song at first.
Oh.
I know. He was like, believe me, Tammy. Believe me, you want strings. He's like, I'm just going to put a little bit here and there. And when I heard it, I was like, oh.
And they say women don't listen. No, I'm so glad you.
No.
I'm so glad you.
He is a blessing.
Yeah, that.
And Saini coming in with the poem.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Who is this sister?
She's an amazing young poet. She was like the 2019, I think, youth poet laureate of Prince George's County.
What's her name?
Her name is Saini Cisse.
Is that her? Is that her actual name?
Her real name.
Saini Cisse.
Yep.
Yeah. When my wife was listening to it, she started crying.
Yeah. Yep.
You mentioned the shallow end, never wanting to go deep.
Yep. The shallow end is safer for people.
And watching your sister and niece do that, did that trigger anything for you in like how you manage going deep?
Yes, absolutely. Because you can go deep. Going deep by yourself is one thing, but when you have a relationship with someone, and there can be a lot of fear with going deep with that person. Just kind of speaking your truth about what you experience. A friend of mine, mutual friend, told me that I am Rissy. She said, you're a transporter. What? I used to sing these old jazz songs, and she was like, you really just transported me to 1950s, with your voice. So I am recognizing that in myself and accepting that is a part of my gift.
How did it feel to receive that?
Receive which?
Good question.
Yeah.
Because it helps me refine my question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know you're dope?